Hello and welcome everyone. I'm James Molloy and I'm joined by Daniel Sheppard here to bring you the UK Championship 2017 Rubik's Cube Final.
Hello everyone. It's very exciting to be here for another year, James.
Indeed it is. This is your first time commentating and my second time, so I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Let's get on with it.
Alright, so we've got quite a talented pool of cubers here. What are your thoughts on who's going to win this year's UK Championship?
Well, obviously the first name that sticks out here is Alex Lau.
Yep.
He's got the best credentials, former European champion, and the current UK national record holder, and indeed the defending champion. So he has to be the big favourite for this. We also have a lot of experience in Robert Yao, Brendan Vallance, and some of the younger up-and-coming exciting talents, so Harry, Steve and George. So it'll be really interesting to see whether Alex can add to his achievements, or whether someone else can cause an upset here.
Yeah, it'll definitely be quite interesting. Alex has obviously been a little bit out of practice, so we won't expect him to get down to his national record levels of low 7 seconds. And Harry actually got his PB in the semi-final, so is he going to live up to how he did in the semi-final? Probably not in a 2 at a time final. And
yeah,
Stephen's qualifying average was his first sub-10 average, so could be anyone.
Yeah, it's really open this year. Extremely hard to predict, I have to say.
Yep, well, let's get underway. Okay, so our first competitor for this final, we're starting with all the foreign competitors. So we have our first of 2 French people in the final, and our first is Victor Chaney.
Yeah, Victor is probably the least known of all the finalists we have here. It's actually only his second competition outside France, so we'll see how he gets on in a foreign environment. His biggest title is probably winning the 4x4 at French Championship 2014, but his 3x3 didn't go very well there in a major final, so we'll see how he can cope with his nerves here.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Our second finalist is an American who's actually living in the UK, and that is Evan Liu.
Yeah, Evan's very well known all around the world. He's actually an all-rounder, and 3x3 is one of his weakest events, but he's still quite good at it. Best known for setting clock world records. He set 6 world records, and he currently holds the continental record. And last year he placed 13th in the final.
Yeah, I think Evan also has one of the most interesting turning styles of this final, so it will be interesting. Victor's got a very regular turning style, nothing extravagant about it. Good start there with a 9.14.
Yeah, that'll definitely help to calm the nerves down a little bit. His average in the semi-final was just over 10 seconds, so anything under 10 I think he'll be quite happy with.
Yep, and I think that's the same for Evan as well. Anything sub 10 he'll be very happy with. He was known for a while for not getting sub 10 and being extremely close many times, so let's see if he can continue his performance from the semi-final. And a good start from him there, 9.21, so very close start for both of them.
Yeah, it is. I wonder whether there's something in that scramble, maybe.
Yep, I know Evan does white and yellow, I believe, crosses.
Yes.
I haven't noticed what Victor does yet, but he's started with white cross on this one, so we'll see how that continues through the average. But I think he might be dual colour as well. Bit of a lock-up on the PLR there, so only an 11.
Yeah, he had a little pause near the start as well. Definitely didn't help.
Shake of the head by Evan there. Doesn't look particularly pleased with the start of the solve. Using up plenty of inspection time. Yeah, shake of the head there, another 11. It wasn't very pleased with that.
Didn't look like he got any good cases there, really.
No, there was a lot of moves for that entire solve. So, not best pleased with that. It was a good start by Victor there. Did his first 2 pairs very quickly, but a bit of time recognising that PLL and 10.05. Not terrible, but not what he wanted.
Yeah, it looked like that was heading for a sub 10, but a little slow on the recognition at the end.
You can really see Evans' turning style here in this solve. That was really good F2L. Unfortunately, a lock on the PLL there. But 10.55 for Evan. But yeah, you could really see he uses his right thumb to do a lot of U prime moves, and it's
a very unique turning style. Not something we see often, but it seems to work for him.
Yeah, you sometimes see some of the old school big cubers use that thumb U prime, but you don't often see it for smaller events. Good last layer there for Victor, but unfortunately the rest of the solve wasn't particularly good.
Yeah, and that's put a bit of a dampener on his average there now, because he's got 2 11s.
Evan's definitely one of the people who makes the best use of inspection time. It's a good tip for anyone starting out. Just use as much of the inspection time as you can. You can always look for more in your solve. Unfortunately, some lockups on the last slot and OLL there.
Yeah.
So, another 11 for him. Not pleased with that at all. Good solve for Victor, finishes on his best, 9.03.
Yeah, unfortunately the average slipped away a little bit by then. I guess after that you can calm down a bit, and then he produces a really nice solve.
Yep. So he's got a 10.25 average, and Evan's best is 10.51, so Evan's not going to win this race here, unfortunately. Let's have a big round of applause for Victor Chaney and Chaney. Now, our next qualifier, our current holder of 11 Malaysian... So our next competitor is a Malaysian, quite well known for his blind times, and it's Ainesh Sevalaraja.
Yeah, he's really good at big blind, especially. He used to hold the Asian records in 4 blind and 5 blind. And he actually has been improving a lot in 3x3 recently. He broke the national record single at his last competition with 6.10.
Yeah, very impressive, considering he's gone from a big blinder to pretty much an all-rounder. And next we have our second French finalist, and it is Jules Desjardins.
Yeah, Jules, you'll see, is solving slightly differently to most of the other finalists in that he solves cross on left. And I believe he's the fastest in the world at doing so.
Yep, I believe he's
interesting
fastest.
to study his technique. Yeah.
And he also uses, he only does pink cross, so he's replaced red on his cube with pink, and you'll see him only do pink as well. So I think I'm almost certain Ainesh is also white and yellow dual colour, and a good start by him. Really good F12 there. Yeah, unfortunately getting an N perm, but 8.75 anyway.
Yeah, I'll definitely be happy with that start. His PB is just under 9 seconds.
Lots of X rotations, as you'd expect by a cross on left solver, but really fast last layer, 809 for Jules.
That last layer was really impressive.
Yep. He's got very, very good TPS, Jules does. And Inish is another person who uses his inspection well. You'll see that from all the finalists. They'll use definitely at least 8 seconds on almost all of their solves. Bit of a slow G-perm there, but really fast F2L. I think he was on last layer at late 4, early 5.
Yeah, really good F2L there. And a very good start for him for his first 2 solves.
Bit of a pause there after cross for Jules. And a bit of a lock up on the last couple of moves of PLL, but
that's an impressive time considering the pauses and mistakes there.
Yeah, definitely. It shows he's got a lot of improvement to make on that 9.5. His current PV average as well is 7.75, which is really, really good. Bit of a pause there in F12 for Inish. And unfortunately some lock-ups on the PLL cost him some time there, so only a mid-9.
Yeah, he'll be hoping that becomes his non-counting time.
Bit of a lock-up in the cross there, but really good TPS after that. And another 8 for Jules. He seems very, very focused, Jules does.
He does, and that's interesting because at Worlds recently he actually failed to reach the semi-final even. He did very poorly in the second round and didn't even make it.
Inish hesitating a bit there from his inspection. Looked like he found something better or wasn't sure what he found.
Well, he's gone for yellow on this solve, so maybe he wasn't happy with white.
That was a really nice F12 until that lock-up on the U-perm seems to cost him quite a lot of time, so he got another mid-9 unfortunately. Very impressive solve from Jules. Little bit of a pause after cross, but after that it was very, very good. 7.3. Best solve of the final so far. So you can see Inish is guaranteed to take the lead for the foreigners. Didn't look too pleased with inspection. And a bit of a lock-up on OLL, still gets an 8.2.
Yeah, really good PLL execution there. I think it was an A-perm.
Yep, it was an A-perm. And as you can see, Jules is going to probably take the lead off this one. I think he's guaranteed it. Bit of a pause going into OL there, but still another great time, 8.4.
Yeah, and 8.35 average. I think he'll be fairly happy with that for a big final like this. And Inish, 8.83. Also, he's going to be very pleased with that one, I think.
And so our next finalist is one of the 3 competitors from Germany in this UK Championship final, and it is Sebastian Weyer.
Yeah, he's a name that doesn't really need introducing. He's one of the most famous cubers in the world, probably. He's got the European record at the moment for 3x3, and actually he's even more famous for 4x4, in which he has the world record.
Yeah, he's been bringing that world record down from, I think his first world record average was 31 something. And
Yeah, it
he's
was
brought
about
that all the way down to 23 now, so.
Yeah.
And he's still looking to improve that even further. Very good, very fast turner. And our next finalist is also quite famous, holder of pretty much every Irish NR, and it's Kieran Behan.
Yeah, Kieran's been improving really fast recently. Recently he got his personal best at the World Championships, and in fact in the second round of this competition he got the national record single with 6.56.
Yeah, that sub 6 eluding him after he got that 5+2, that fateful 5+2, and I think that was
yeah, in Ireland.
Yeah, he's been living with that nightmare for a while, so. Sebastian liking the higher vantage point, stacking 2 chairs. A couple of people like being quite far above the timer. Decent start for him, 7.2. As you can see, ridiculous TPS. Almost no pauses. You're going to see a lot of this. And now, Kieran, green cross only solver. Go green. Again, pretty good TPS, not many pauses.
Yeah, it's okay. I think he'll be aiming for nearer 8 seconds or just under 8 here. He's been solving really well in this competition. Very close to his PB. So I'll be hoping he can go one better.
Yeah, and he also performed really well at the UK Championships last year as well. So looking to get a repeat performance. Another low 7 for Sebastian there. Again, ridiculous DPS.
Yeah, really steady start here from Sebastian. Not steady as in slow, but yeah, just nice and consistent.
Yep, and that's something you'll see out of the 2 competitors after this as well as these 2. Just really consistent, like throughout all the solves. I wouldn't be surprised if they all get a very low standard deviation. Mid-9 for Kieran there. He's definitely not happy with that.
No, he won't be happy with that at all.
No.
That really needs to become his non-counting solve if he wants to get average here.
Yeah, he had a lot of rotations in that solve, which slowed him down quite a bit. So he'll be looking to cut them out for his next 3 solves. Good solve for Sebastian, high 6. That's now the fastest solve of the final so far.
Yeah, even better than his first 2, and he's very much on course for a good average here.
Yep. Even still, that he's on course for a very good average. None of his single solves so far have beaten his current ER average, so that's quite interesting. Bit of a lock up there from Kieran. But good recognition for OLL and PLL, so gets a 7.6.
Yeah, back on track after that last solve. Sebastian actually, amazingly, hasn't won a 3x3 competition for almost a year now. That just shows you the level of competition in Germany, really. Often being beaten by his own brother, who we'll see later, and some of the other top competitors there.
Yeah, the competition in Germany is really ridiculous. So, even getting mid-7s and high 7 averages might not even get you a podium sometimes. Another good solve for Kieran. Very nice last layer there. Had a left soon and then an A-perm, so very quick. Another mid-7, so he's pretty happy with that, I would have thought.
Yeah, and he's got a chance of a sub-8 average, which he'd certainly be happy with.
And as you can see, Sebastian is definitely going to take the lead here for the foreign competitors. It's going to be getting a low to mid-7 average. But it seems like a lot of competitors are frowning at the last scramble. So, but another mid-7, very consistent average.
No real problem for Sebastian on that solve anyway. And that will be a good benchmark for everyone else to aim for.
Yep. And unfortunately, Kieran's not going to overtake him with their counting 8.6, but he's likely to go into second place. And he's definitely going into second place with that time there. Gets his fastest on the last one.
Yeah, you really came into his own on the second half of that average there, after a slightly slow start. Just 3 7s to finish it off.
Yep. So 2 7 averages there from our third and fourth place foreign competitors. Really good benchmark for the next two to beat. Alright, and our final two foreign competitors are both from Germany. Our first competitor is Cornelius Diekmann.
Yeah, Connie's a very popular figure amongst the UK cubers. He loves coming over here, and he loves winning competitions over here. He's won 9 times in this country, more than most UK cubers have won. So, yeah, he's feeling very comfortable here, I guess.
Yeah, he certainly loves coming to UK competitions. Studied here at university for a year and keeps coming back. And next finalist, our fastest foreign qualifier, as mentioned from Germany, is the brother of a previous competitor. It's Philipp Weyer.
Yeah, and current European champion. So, yeah, we've had the European record holder, now we've got the European champion here. And at this competition he actually got a European record in one-handed, much to his own surprise.
Yeah, 7.7 second single with I believe it was back soon PLL skip. But getting lucky is not a crime. Famous cubing phrase.
Absolutely. And they won't know what the previous competitors got, but I'm sure they'll be expecting Sebastian to have got around a mid-7 average, which is what he got. So
yeah, and you can see Cornelius qualified with a 7.4, so he'll be looking to repeat that. But he does get quite nervous in finals, so hopefully he doesn't get frozen by them too much. But a very good start, 7.16. I believe that's the fastest time we've had on the first solve so far.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And Philippe definitely looking to repeat what he did in the semi-final as well. 7.01 average. Looking for that elusive sub 7 average. But not a great start for him. 8.76. Will not be pleased at all with that.
No, he's desperate to get sub 7 now. After getting that 7.01 in the semi-finals.
Yep, he's been trying for sub 7 for many months and he's definitely capable of it, but unable to pull it off so far. Hopefully Cornelius doesn't get too nervous knowing that he's started off well. I know a lot of people, especially in finals, if you start off well it's just a recipe for disaster for the rest of the average. And quite a few lockups here in the F2L. And a PLL skip.
Yeah, that was just a Niklas last layer. He almost gave up on the solve there, but luckily he didn't. And yeah, pulled out a good time with a lucky last layer.
Yeah, got away with a sub-8 there. Looks like Philippe's locking up a little bit. And 7.9. Won't be pleased with that. Definitely
No,
not
I
pleased
mean
with that at all.
that's already counting, so he's in a little bit of trouble.
Yep, absolutely. And both of these, I believe they both do white only, but I think both of them might do yellow if it's very, very good.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few people struggle on these late scrambles. We're seeing the white cross is not to their liking.
Quite a bit of a lock-up here on the last layer for Cornelius.
Yeah, you can really see some nerves coming in there towards the end, struggling to get those turns done.
Yeah, it was looking good until that last layer, unfortunately. And it is a +2, so that's a 9.68 for Philippe. So he's pretty much out of it at this point, counting 8.7 and 7.9.
Really fallen apart, and now he's very unlikely to beat his brother.
Quite a bit of a lock-up there on his first moves. And that's a DNF.
Ooh.
One twisted corner.
Yeah, he's looking more and more shaky as this average goes on. He's really struggling.
Yeah, at this point it's not quite over. He can't beat Sebastian, but
Yeah.
that's actually the second 7.373 we've had this final. Jules also got that time, and I think it was on the same
memory.
scramble actually. But yep, Philippe's best time so far, but he's definitely not going to be able to overtake Sebastian now. And same for Cornelius. Unable to walk away with that number 1 foreign spot. Not ended well for Cornelius there with a 9+2. He had a good start.
Yeah, really fell apart pretty fast. Even his second solve was lucky to get a good time. So.
Yeah. So unfortunately a bit of an underperformance there from Cornelius, but can't win them all in the UK. And really good TPS from Philippe there. That was really impressive. 6.85 to finish it, full step.
Yeah, I think after those first 3 solves, he realised that his chance of the win had gone, and totally relaxed. Pulled a couple of great solves out.
Yep. And that's a really good showing from Sebastian there. Clear winner from our first 8 competitors, and unsurprising having 2 Germans in the top 3, but unfortunately Cornelius not doing as well. And now for the most important part of the final, we're on to the UK competitors. Our first qualifier from the UK is Callum Hellsjet.
Yeah, Callum, he's quite an enigma. You never know quite what you're going to get out of him in a 3x3 round. He's done very badly recently in finals. He's had over 12-second averages in 3 of his last 5 finals. But he actually has the potential to get well under 10 seconds, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yep. I'm not expecting much. I don't think he's expecting much from finals ever. That's why he doesn't really care about them, and he knows he's not going to win, so he takes it with a bit of fun. So could be very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
And our next qualifier is Fabio Shuang.
Yeah, Fabio, one of the younger competitors in this final, still improving very fast, holds Scube national records, and recently set a PV average of 8.91.
Yep, recently got the sub 9 he was after. Yeah, he's definitely focused on all-rounder, not 3x3, but he could definitely show up today. Quite a few pauses here from Callum so far. A few lock-ups as well. And starts off with a 12.14. Not great, but you can see.
As you can see, he's not too bothered about that. He's not putting any pressure on himself. Just go out and have a bit of fun.
Yeah, indeed. Now, Fabio's first final was actually last year in UK Championships. If I recall, he didn't do so well, so hopefully he does a bit better this time.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody in with a shout of the podium here.
Yeah, it was a good solve.
Sure,
to start with a 10.07. Bit of a slow A-perm, unfortunately, but pretty reasonable. He seems very relaxed. Callum doesn't like the look of the start of this solve.
He's going for yellow on this one.
Quite a number of pauses again. Some nice EO on the last pair. Another 12. Doesn't seem to know what's going on.
Yeah, I guess now he knows that the chance of a good average has kind of gone. Hopefully he can just relax. Well, I mean, he's already really relaxed, but hopefully he can produce something a bit better.
Indeed. Really nice PLL on that solve. Good turning, nice and smooth, but not the best. He seems to be getting roughly what he got in the last round, Fabio does, but that's not going to be enough to take victory here.
No, you wouldn't have thought so.
Callum appears to be having some look-ahead issues here. And a bit of a lock-up on that G-perm at the end.
Yeah, it was a fairly bad start to the solve. Kind of sped up a lot towards the end and ended up with a 10, but obviously not what he's looking for still.
Yeah, the only thing he's looking for right now is the viewer's eyes. Really smooth solve from Fabio so far. 8.72, that's much better. Really fluid, not too fast, but just trying to keep it consistent.
Yeah, it gives him a chance of a good average though here.
Yeah, definitely. Another slow start from Callum here. Seems to be getting some lock-ups as well. And another 12, unfortunately. I think he realises this average is not that good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a goner.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to be over 12 seconds again.
Yep. Doesn't seem to mind though, as expected. Unfortunately, not that good of a last there for Fabio there. Ended up with a dot OL.
Yeah, he had some trouble on that dot. Just getting the fingers in the right place.
Yep. I presume most people at this level know some basic EO to avoid dot cases, so when they do come up, you often have a bit of a pause thinking, what was this? I can't remember the last time I did this alg. And another 12 for Callum, plus doing the last solve.
I don't deserve to be here.
It almost looked like he might get a good solve there for a moment.
Almost, but no, not quite. Nevertheless, he does take the lead out of the UK competitors. First out of one.
Yeah, but Fabio's guaranteed to overtake him straight away.
Yeah, bit of a pause on PLL. Ooh, okay. Whoops. Locked up a couple of turns from the end. And a DNF,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Unfortunate, and I'd be surprised if that gets him on the podium, but you just never know.
Yeah, indeed. So a low 12 average from Callum and a low 10 average from Fabio. It's not terrible, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be on the podium this time around.
Our next qualifier, qualifying in 11th place.
Now our next qualifier, he's been around forever. He's been competing for 10 years. World champion in 2009, quite well known. He is Brendan Valance.
Yeah, and he also won this title a few times. Last time he won was 2011. These days he actually prefers 5x5, which he is the new UK champion in. But he certainly can't be discounted in 3x3 with all the experience he's had over the years.
Yeah, definitely. He's very consistently around the 9-second mark for 3x3, so it could be interesting to see how he does. Definitely has a chance of podiuming. And our next qualifier is George Goalie.
George is the joint skew national record average holder, and also has the single record. In the second round, he got a new PB for 3x3, an 8.66 average.
Yep, I said last year he would probably be sub 9 next year, and here we are, and he is. Let's see if he can produce in the finals. Reasonable start by Brendan there, getting a sub 10. He's not going to be super pleased with that. He definitely knows he needs 8s for the podium probably. George with a pretty good start. Quite pausey on the F2L, but you'll notice he has a quite ridiculous TPS. His last layer's excellent.
Yeah, I'm really impressed at how nerveless he looked there on the last layer. Often you'll find new competitors with high TPS really struggle towards the end of their solves just to get the alps done.
Yeah, indeed. Brendan pausing quite a bit there. He doesn't seem super comfortable. His look ahead's a bit off. Not quite getting the sub 10 there. He knows he's probably already out of it with a counting 10.
Yeah, not likely to win from this position, but certainly he can still try for the podium.
Another good solve from George, 8.83. He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, this average is building up nicely.
Yeah, as you said, I'm surprised he's not getting too nervous, but he seemed a bit relieved after the last solve. And a +2 from Brendan there, unfortunately.
Yeah, Brendan actually looks a little bit nervous. Definitely would have thought it should be George rather than Brendan, but there you go.
Yep, George seems quite focused. Taking some deep breaths before his solves. Another really good solve from George there. Low 8, doing some nice CLR. Both of these cubers do one cross colour. Brendan does yellow only, and George does green only. Much better solve from Brendan there, 8.75. Seems much more pleased with that than his previous solves.
I imagine George will be starting to feel a little bit more nervous now. He's got a great chance of a nice average here, if he can just get one more good solve.
Yeah, 8, mid-8 average definitely has a good chance of winning. Definitely a good chance of podiuming as well. Doesn't seem to be getting nervous at all though. Not quite as good as the last ones, 9.31, but that's still a sub 9 average already, I think. We'll see, obviously, when he starts his next solve.
Yeah, he's already sealed a really nice average there.
And another good solve from Brennan. That was much better. Seems to have got into the rhythm, but a bit too late, unfortunately.
Yeah, some really nice starts to the F12 there, possibly with some sort of pseudo inserts. Saw quite a lot of D moves during that F12.
Indeed. Yeah, so as you can see, George's worst possible is 8.87, so that's a pretty good average. Has a chance of podiuming. Let's see if he can improve on that. It was looking good, but unfortunately a bit of a lock-up on that Z-perm, so it does end with that 8.87 average, which puts him into first place right now with only 4 competitors left, so it's really good.
Yes, that's seriously impressive for such a young guy, new to the scene. Probably his first UK Champs final in which he's had a good chance of winning something. And he's got a big lead there with just 4 competitors to go.
Yep. I'm seriously impressed as well. I'm just going to say it now. I think he's going to be probably sub 8 by UK Champs next year. It worked once for me, so it might work again, who knows.
James's annual George prediction. That's going to be a thing now.
Yeah, dropping 1 second every year. Don't let me down, George.
Our next competitor, qualifying in 9th place.
Alright, and moving on to our next 2 UK competitors. Coming up first, we have Stephen Kearns.
Well, if you thought that Callum was inconsistent in finals, well, Stephen's just next level, really. He's even more extreme. Yep. Absolutely no idea what's going to happen here. In the semi-final, he got a huge PB, 9.09.
And next, inventor of
yeah, he was looking for that sub 10 average for a while. Got a bit lucky and finally performed well in a round, and so yeah, destroyed that barrier. So he's probably absolutely bricking it right now, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I believe and, this is Stephen's first major final as well, so definitely going to be nervous.
Yeah, and next we have Robert Yao, pretty well known guy, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely, and he has won this title before in 2015, hoping to repeat that feat.
So, complete opposite from the last 2 guys, being one cross colour only. These 2 guys are both fully colour neutral, so turning looks a bit nervous from Stephen there, getting a 12, unfortunately.
Yeah,
he knows he can do much better.
Not showing the high TPS we know that he can get.
And Rob, good start with 8.77. You'll also notice that he does a lot of turning with his left hand as well. It's because he is left-handed, so is very ambidextrous.
Yeah, it's quite a unique turning style. Yeah, lots of left-handed moves, fairly straight-fingered. You've probably noticed that.
Yeah, I think his fingers have got less straight over time. It's slowly evolving, but still, you can still tell it's there.
Stephen looks so nervous now. He had some problems on his cross. His hands were shaking.
Yeah, he sits back a bit as well. You tend to see that a lot with when people really mess up solves, just leaning back from the timer, and gets a 14 there. Unfortunately, definitely doesn't look pleased. Another really good solve from Rob there, 7.8.
Yeah, great look really ahead in that
relaxed.
one. Very, very few pauses.
Yep, and great TPS on top of that. He's been in this situation many, many times, so hopefully he can stay relaxed. Big pause there from Stephen. Unfortunately does the E-perm from the wrong angle, so has to do an H-perm afterwards. So a 13 from Stephen there. He looks absolutely distraught.
Yeah, I think he's just very confused at the whole situation. Not sure what to do.
Yeah. He probably never expected to be here in the first place, so it's always a learning experience.
Yeah, he'll certainly be back in years to come.
Yeah. Rob, unfortunately, thinking he knew the 1 at last there, I'm pretty sure he knows quite a lot of random cases, and only ended up doing the OLL CP on that 8-move OLL. So, ended with a 10.6. Could have done much better if he just went straight for OLL PLL.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take that gamble though. Hope it pays off.
Bit of a better solve from Stephen, 11.5, but he's still not going to be pleased with that.
No. Rob needs to make this
It seems
10.6 non-counting, hopefully, if he's going to beat George.
Yep, as we know, George has that 8.87 average so far. And there's that gamble paid off. He looked at that case of it, 6.95, and knew the 1 that was there. So, great solve from Rob there.
And now he has a counting 7.
Yes, indeed. So I think to take the lead, he now needs only a mid-9.
Yeah, it would be something around that.
As we know, Stephen's already out of this, unfortunately. Hopefully he can redeem himself on this last solve. Or not. Unfortunately, another +2 there. A lot of +2s and DNFs on this last solve.
Yeah, big
I'm sure we'll see him again
nightmare for him.
in a
Yeah,
final.
he'll be back. I think he'll be challenging for the podium in the future.
Yep, definitely.
And I think that should
Bit
be
of a-
just enough to take the lead. And indeed it is.
Yep, 8.56.
Let's have a big round of applause for Stephen and Ronald.
So that guarantees Rob a position on the podium.
Yeah, only 2 competitors to go,
Yep.
so guaranteed a bronze medal at least.
Yep, bit of a lucky last solve, but he'll definitely be happy with an 8.5 average, as his current PB is 8.21, which he set in 2013. And last but not least, we have our top 2 UK qualifiers. And first we have
And our
Harry
fastest
Savage.
UK qualifiers. Firstly,
Harry had a big PB in the semi-final, 8.49 average, really good for him. I'm sure he'll be absolutely thrilled with that and hoping to repeat something near that in the final.
Yep, Harry's another one of these up-and-coming young guns. He seems to be just good at everything he practices.
Yeah, and he takes all my national records off me.
Yep, he's taken pyramids off you and fierce moves.
Yeah, just in this competition, fierce moves.
And I'm sure he'll be overtaking you in blind soon.
Hopefully not.
And our number 1 UK qualifier from the semi-final is another very well-known name, Alexander Lau.
Yep, Alex, known as one of the fastest cubers in the world for the last few years. He was the European champion in 2014, and he used to be ranked 2nd in the world for average.
Yep, he was the 3rd person to get a sub-6 back when it was only Felix and Mutz, so pretty elite club there, and has held European record averages and the UK national record for so many years now. Bit of a lock-up at the end there from Harry.
Yeah, he was looking quite relaxed for the whole solve, just didn't really work out.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Bit of a problem with look ahead, but seemed alright. As many of you will know, Alex uses Rue. I know, great start by him, 7.79. Seems effortless, really.
Yeah, he's just so efficient at the start of the solve. He doesn't even look like he's turning fast, and then suddenly he's on last 6 edges.
Yeah, look out for that in the next solve. Really smooth start as he finishes his blocks. A tiny bit of a pause before he does CMLL, and then it's finished. Much better solve from Harry there, 8.36. Seems pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, he'll be much happier with that one. Of course, he doesn't actually know what the previous finalists have got before him, but I'm sure he'll be aiming for something in the 8s.
Yep, he knows it's likely that somewhere around the 8 average will be what's required for podium, so he'll be feeling it for sure. And another 7 from Alex, just so consistent.
Yeah, brilliant start for him. Let's see whether he can keep it up and overtake Rob.
Indeed. Few lock-ups there at the end from Harry, but
yeah,
saved by the
massive
PLR
lock-up.
Yep, he'll be pretty pleased with 7.9. Could have been much faster, but I don't think he'll complain at all. Not such a good solve from Alex there, 9.8. Knows it's not good enough. Hopefully he'll do better on the next couple of solves.
Yeah, Rob also got a bad 3rd one, but managed to pull it back for a good average, so let's see whether Alex does.
Big pause there from Harry. Oh, another big pause. And another PLL skip. Knows that could have been much better, but seems to be laughing about it.
Yeah, it's one of the most frustrating things when you do a terrible solve and then get a skip at the end.
Yeah.
And the skip is just so meaningless because it's still a bad solve.
Yeah, indeed. Alex now has a counting 9.8. It was looking good for an 8-second solve there, but unfortunately missed that last M prime.
And then failed to fix it.
Yeah.
That could be really costly.
Indeed. So Harry's best is 8.91, which will put him in third. Does require faster than a 7.9 though. Looked like a pretty good solve up until that last layer, but locks up on that T-perm and has to fix that last move. So pretty interesting average there from Harry.
Well, this last solve will define who will become the UK champion. Alex needs somewhere around an 8-second solve.
And we certainly know he's capable of it. 8.57. That's 0.01 away from Rob.
Yeah. I said around 8, and he got around 8, but turns out he needed just under 8. Well, that was incredibly close.
Yeah, I think that's the closest final we've ever had.
Yeah, I can't remember one that close, certainly. But Rob is the UK champion for 2017, managing to regain the title he won in 2015.
Yep, and that 2015 title was also in this very same venue.
Yes, it was. So perhaps if we were to return next year, you might be able to make it 3 times out of 3.
Yep. Alex won last year, so he'll be a bit displeased that he didn't quite sneak that win there to hold on to his title, but he's won plenty of these before, so...
Yeah, he knows he was perfectly capable of winning that. It just didn't quite work out for him on the day with that dropped solve, that 4th one, where he got the +2. He was really close.
Yeah, and a really impressive showing from George there.
Brilliant from George. Yeah, really impressed with him. Not that far off the top step at all. And next year he's going to be one among the favourites for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much all of these up-and-coming guys in this final are ones to look out for to podium or even win next year for certain.
Yeah, there's quite a number coming up to challenge the more experienced cubers. But this year, apparently the experienced won out with Rob and Alex up there.
Alright, so I hope everyone enjoyed the UK Championship 2017 final, and I hope you enjoyed the commentary from myself and Daniel.
Yeah, thanks very much for listening, and we hope to be back next year.
Take care everyone, and happy cubing!